Howdy-yo, everyone! Velocity here, back in action for more Lord Chief Justice attraction. That's right, it's the 23rd of October in the British Supreme Court. And we have Susato-san with us, so hopefully she could help us out a bit. I don't know. Suffice to say, there are things we need to be asking the Chief. Let's go. Oh, who's that standing beside Lord Stronghart? I wonder. I've never seen her before. Oh my god. Ah, the young champion of the court. You had some success this morning, I understand. And you've thrown the entire government into disarray as a result. Oh. You mean because of Professor Harebrain's experiment? Science being demonstrated at London's Great Exposition. The country has been made to look foolish. Now politicians are scrambling to respond. Lord Van Zieks is in Whitehall as we speak, giving an emergency briefing. Oh dear, I didn't mean to cause any trouble. None of this is your responsibility. The government is entirely to blame for having been taken in. The special dispensation that prevents investigation at the scene will be annulled later today. Once that happens, my forensic investigation team will move in and deal with that scrap metal in no time. It's scrap metal now? Is it? Until later then, Lord Stronghart. Yes, thank you. Oh, she's hot. Please. Please. Hi. Who was that? That was Dr. Courtney Seath, Scotland Yard's esteemed chief coroner. She's leading the forensic investigation team's handling of this case. She was just delivering a report about the victim, in fact. Oh, I see. About Mr. Osmond. Following the outcome of the trial earlier, I asked the coroner's office to reevaluate its findings. I don't have time to tell you what she concluded. You want to know? You'll have to ask her directly. You can find her at the forensics laboratory. Oh, right. Now, what were you here to see me about? I could give you 7 minutes and 39 seconds of my time. So, he's not running quite so spectacularly late anymore. Sure. But first, examine. Hello? As ever, the enormous clock is diligently maintaining its arithmetic tick-tock today. Watching machinery at work can be quite memorizing, can't it? Ironically, you can completely forget the time. What I particularly enjoy is watching the enormous wheels of the steam locomotive turning. When I was a little girl, grandmother often used to take me to watch the railway engines, you know. It's an open fire for me. I could sit and watch the flames for hours. Mr. Naruto, you could install one in the office. Enormous wheel, turned by an enormous steam engine. Perhaps we could start with a simple fireplace? I mean, you're not allowed to have fireplaces. You got what you got, you know? Just sitting behind that desk must make you feel so important, don't you think? Would you like to have an office like this, Mr. Naruto? With such a grand desk? Who, me? No, I don't think so. Oh? Well, imagine if you suddenly found yourself needing the toilet. You have to go so far now. How true. Perhaps the important people who work in upstations offices like this haven't considered such things. I'm gonna take that as a compliment. Alright. These very European suits of armor still glaring at each other across the carpet, I see. In a way, they felt like guards of the Lord Chief Justice Office. I suppose. They rather, like the blind, dogs that guard shrines in Japan, aren't they? Aren't they a bit too human to be called lion dogs? Did you know it's a dream of mine to keep 2 cats one day? I feel as though we're gone a bit off of a tangent, don't you? You're gonna read all these books even if you were to reincarnate 6 times over as a bookworm. Lord Stronghart really have read all these? Thinking about it, Father's study is full of books that look as though never been read too. Oh, really? Peddlers of books are forever pushing their wares on him, you see. And I think he's just too kind-hearted to refuse them. That's a phrase for that in Britain. People who say they saw him coming. It makes me wonder if perhaps the vast number of books on the shelves in here are a sign of Lord Stronghart's overwhelming kindness. I'm not sure you could afford to make a kind heart. You had to keep Lord Van Zeeks in line, could you? I think Lord Van Zeeks is quite the gentleman. Why do you think otherwise, Mr. Naruto? Eh? What are you trying to say? Either way, we investigated everything. We can now give him more time. Start though. What exactly is the forensics investigation team that you mentioned before? The British Empire's police force must become the most exemplary in the world. For that to happen, it's imperative that we embrace forensic science and everything it has to offer. I first heard of the forensics investigation team a year ago now, unofficially of course, to pave the way. Goodness, a year ago? At next month's symposium, I intend to present the results of their work to the world. Once I do that, the House of Lords will be powerless to oppose the creation of a full-scale forensics division. And once that happens, the position of Attorney General will be mine, and criminals will suffer dearly. What do you mean? For too long, those scoundrels have made a mockery of our legal system with false evidence and bribes. The London scum is about to be rounded up and burnt in the fires of hell. I intend to see it to it personally. By creating the finest police force the world has ever known to protect our honor and our future. With those eyes, he means every word. Dr. Seath is an extremely reliable coroner. When I officially establish the forensics division at Scotland Yard, she will run as my right-hand woman. Now then, speaking of the synopsis, Miss Mikotoba. Yes, my lord. Your father should be on the high seas as we speak, making his way here to represent the Empire of Japan. Yes, that's right. I understand he will arrive at the beginning of next month. Are you acquainted, Lord Stronghart? Or Professor Mikotoba, I mean. It was many years ago now, but yes, I remember Mr. Dr. Mikotoba very well. Huh? Okay. Dr. Mikotoba, then. If my memory serves, it was some 15 years ago now that your father came to Britain as a visiting student. It was the year I was born, so yes, 16 years ago in fact. Mikotoba was a young practitioner of forensic science, and Jingoku accompanied him as a young, promising judge. The punctualness and politeness of the Japanese at the time impressed us greatly. Not that I wish to imply impoliteness or carelessness on your part in any way. I didn't think you were. Dr. Mikotoba studied forensics at one of London's large hospitals. St. Sinner's, if I'm not mistaken. Dr. Seath was also there then, as it happens. Then Dr. Seath knows my father, does she?
She was a young medical assistant at the time. I doubt their paths crossed regularly. But I have no doubt they knew each other superficially. After all, Dr. Mikatoba was here studying his subject for some 6 years in total.
6 years? A long time to be studying abroad, isn't it? I lived with my grandmother in those years. Well, he left his newly born daughter behind and went overseas for 6 whole years? It was a rather turbulent time at home. Oh. Perhaps father wanted a reason to get away.
What do you mean? Why?
Well, at least something was going on at the time.
Alright, what about Lord Van Zeeks then? I wanted to ask you about Lord Van Zeeks, actually.
I heard that his older brother was killed some years ago by a mass murderer known as Professor, who targeted nobles and royalty. Is that right?
You Japanese are a thorough lot. You've done your research well. Yes. And you could say it was that very incident that gave him rise to the Reaper.
What? Why?
When his brother, Count Van Zeeks, was murdered, it was just after young Bark had graduated from the University of London and became a prosecutor. What oblivious criminals who managed to evade conviction in court started disappearing. Rumors quickly spread throughout the capital. Londoners started to say that whenever Brock Von Zeeks went, the ghost of his dead brother wasn't far behind.
Oh my word! So Lord Van Zeeks isn't the Reaper. It's the ghost of his brother?
Ever since that time, he became a very aloof figure in London's legal circles.
Oh, yes, Lord Stronghart.
Go ahead.
It's about Professor Hairbrain's experimental machine. We'd like your permission to examine the remains, if possible.
Are you well versed in science, then?
Not in the slightest. In fact, you could say I was barely aware of the subject at all until recently.
Well, the special disputation legally prevents investigation of the machine is currently being annulled. In a few hours, Dr. C's team of forensics experts will begin their own investigation. But I suppose until then, there's no harm in you looking at the wreckage, as long as you touch nothing.
Thank you. Able to look at it, it is better than nothing. I'll be able to see it too.
Your time is up. You'll have to excuse me now, I'm afraid. My next engagement calls.
We're extremely sorry to have troubled you when you are so busy, my lord.
I have important matters to attend to in preparation for the symposium. You understand.
Okay. That was that. Kind of a fast thing. A new location has been added. Forensics laboratory. Well, I don't think we should go to prison. Experimental stage. We'll go to the experimental stage because we just got permission to go. I think that'll be good. I do want prison to be one of the last things. The 23rd of October, the Great Exposition. Grounds. Foot of the Crystal Tower. There's no puppies! I had no idea there were so many people in the world. I know what you mean. It's really packed here today. It feels as though it's taken us 2 hours just to make our way through the crowd to this point. Has it? I shut my brain down, so I didn't really notice, to be honest. Gosh, I do wish I had your absence of mind sometimes, Mr. Naruto.
There you are. I had a feeling you lot would show your mugs before long.
Oh, Inspector Grayson! I see you're hard at work as usual.
Warm greetings to you. I do hope you've been keeping well since last we met.
What's with all the ceremony? We just saw each other in the court this morning.
Ah, you, Sunshine. The gentlewoman who loyally stays at your side.
Oh. Why, thank you, Inspector. How good of you to notice.
Might be a bit rough around the edges. But he's still a proper English gentleman at heart, I suppose.
As you probably guessed, we were hoping to investigate the scene one more time.
Right, well, that's the young trainee's domain. Oi, get over here, Gina!
She seems to be busy playing with the puppy. Probably giving it the traditional East End training. Gina? She's a police officer now? Amazing, isn't it?
He's a good kid, actually. Also the right place, anyway. Got a detection bug, if you ask me. Nope. I think she'll follow in my footsteps nicely.
What do you mean?
I'm being transferred. Time for me to say toodaloo to London.
Oh no, really? That's a bit sudden, isn't it? I had no idea. Where are you going to be posted then? We'll come see you, how you're getting along.
Not likely. But you're welcome to try. You don't mind a trip to France, that is.
To France?
You work in the Paris police prefecture. That should be right up my alley.
But France? It's an entirely different country. I don't understand. Why would you be sent there?
That's the way the adult world works, Sunshine. Now don't go poking in your nose in where it's not wanted. I'm intending to take the kid with me when I go.
What? You're taking Gina to Paris?
I can't leave her here in London. Who knows what'd become of her.
I suppose he's worried she'd slip up back into her hands, into people's pockets and purses. I don't think he's worried about her pickpocketing, Mr. Nardo. I think he's worried about the Reaper. Oh, of course! That's playing on Inspector Grayson's mind too, is it?
Anyway, I haven't mentioned any of this to Jaina. So don't go blabbing, you hear me?
No, of course not.
Got to keep that diving diva safe and sound. All this is over, at least.
He's such a kind-hearted guy. I love him. Why do you call me a bloomin' diving diva again?
So you heard that, did you? Right, well, any questions about the scene, you can put them in my capable Detective Divas here.
Alright, you're the boss. Inspector Lestrade's in charge here now. I suppose I better keep my word and not mention anything about Paris. So, Gina, you got a new dog, have you? Isn't he great? Toby's his name. Oh, how delightful. He's absolutely adorable. Yes, the dog does seem lovely. That's not the so loving Inspector Grayson that's playing my mind, to be honest. Alright, let's look around again. They don't want to do that game. Oh, that's off limits up there! Try to sneak past me again, and I'll stuff your gob full of Boss's fish and chips. Yes, please. I love fish and chips. I suppose we need special permission. Okay, fair enough. That stage up there is where the experiment was set up. It's very high, isn't it? about 30 feet, I believe. Or 9 meters if you prefer. Cranking your neck to see up to it starts to hurt after a while, doesn't it? Yes, we need to get up there and look around properly. Although, if I'm honest, climbing all those stairs makes my chest hurt. Oh dear. I think perhaps you should exercise more, Mr. Naruto. Fair enough. Game. I have literally tried to look at this stupid thing. No! Game! There we go. Here's a scorching on the ground that you mentioned. Yes, and there's what's left of the green balloon's envelope. All clear embers of the balloon that exploded on the day of the incident. Poor Professor Hairbrain. I do feel sorry for him that his dreams have been shattered like this. Someone's well and truly burst his bubble, as it were. Ouch. I'm a bad person. Damn. Okay, well that seems to be good. Nothing cool, something there. Ah, the Crystal Tower. I can't believe I'm seeing it at such close proximity with my own eyes. You've really been looking forward to the great exposition, haven't you, Mrs. Sato? Oh yes, when I found out that I had to return to Japan, I'm afraid I cursed my luck. But here you are, back in London, gazing up at the magnificent tower. I know. Perhaps I was wrong to curse my luck so harshly. Oh, that's sweet. What's up here? All done. All done. No dialogue about Union Jack? Okay, fair enough. It is just a flag after all. Investigating the scene, part 2? Gina, we're actually hoping that we could investigate the scene again? Yeah, alright. If it's up around here, you could do what you like. Oh, that's alright, isn't it? I'm gonna be playing with a new friend here. Oh yes, Toby. The machine that exploded must be on top of those stairs, I presume. I haven't actually seen it yet, if you don't mind. It's alright, you can't go up this, Snooze. Ah! It's like I told Uno yesterday. Even I ain't allowed near that wreck. What's it called again? Reason we ain't supposed to touch it? The Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act? Is that what you were thinking of? That's the one! That's why only them are allowed to investigate it. What are they called again? The Forensic something... The Forensic Investigation Team? Is that what you're thinking of? That's the one, yeah! But isn't that the case that the special dissertation has been lifted? I think so. I don't really get it, to be truthful with you. You're still supposed to get permission from some bigwig or as far as I know. What's his name again? Lord Strong something? I'm not sure that's quite right, Gina. I think you mean Lord Stronghart, perhaps. That's the one, yeah! Apparently he's always watching the time or something. Actually, we've just recently been to see Lord Stronghart. Eh? You what? You met him? Last time the boss was called to go and see him. He waited for 3 hours at the Co's office and came back sniveling. Tragic. Well, Lord Stronghart has given us permission to examine the scene, as long as we don't touch nothing. Oh yeah? Honestly? Alright then, go ahead. It turns out you're lying. Be with the boss who gets it. He's never eaten another chip again in his life. So, you're still saying, all this is above board, are you? I'm sure everything will be fine. That really should be tragic. Alright then, there's the stairs. Off you go. Oh, thank you, Gina.
Okay, cool. So we got it. What about the dog?
Where did you find that little mutt then, Gina? Oh, don't be so flaming rude, Uno! Slight overreaction, don't you think? He ain't no mutt, alright? Toby's... Where did he put it? Oh yeah! I'm going to find detective! Sorry? I'm giving him proper title and everything! He's Chief Inspector Toby to you!
We're senior than Inspector Grayson, is he?
Oh, so he's a police dog, is he? Police recruit dogs now? I've heard that they're already being used officially in Germany as part of their city policing. They're used for chasing criminals and such like. You have a wonderful sense of smell after all.
Really good sense of smell myself, as it happens. I can tell undergarments have been freshly loitered from undergarments that haven't.
Ah, I'm comparing to this little fella, Uno.
Oh, really?
Wonder what the boss said. Once Toby is got a good whiff of your dross, he could chase that scent to the other side of the world.
What? To the other side of the world?
You could swim? Mr. Naruto, I think you may have missed the point by rather a wide margin.
I just can't believe this little dog has such an incredible skill.
I'm telling you, Uno, that's got to be more and more dogs doing their bit for the police in future. Yes, I agree. Right, one of these days they'll be barking orders at us a lot, not the other way around. Oh dear. Sorry, Gina. I don't think I agree with your vision quite that much. Well, anyway, whatever you think about that, W is Britain's first police dog. I found him down the East End the other day. Someone had just chucked him out on the street.
There you go. I knew she lifted him from somewhere.
But Gina, you're such a kind-hearted soul, aren't you? Children and to animals.
She is. That's why I like her so much. She's my favorite character in all this.
It was great, weren't it? I had a right laugh. It was a new one on me, that. You know, being in court and not spending this whole time worrying about to be found out. You did keep an awful lot of secrets in all your previous court appearances, didn't you? Yeah, and it was made things hard for me every single time and all. Just doing my job, Gina. Watching someone else get in the neck is a lot of fun, actually. It was amazing when you showed that dodgy professor's dodgy experiment was a total fix. The dodgy professor, as you put it, Gina, is Mr. Naruto's client. Yes, I'm starting to wish he wasn't, though. It's the boss I feel sorry for. Sent off to do the impossible. What do you mean? He's supposed to arrest that other cove, ain't he? And then time for tomorrow and all. No, that dodgy engineer. What's his name again? Mr. Trevor, you mean? And not Trevor? That's the one, yeah! The police are looking for this mysterious man with the black monocle? Yes, they would be. It's putting too much on the boss, if you ask me. He says it's giving him a gut ache. Oh dear. I do wonder if that isn't actually from all the fried food.
I thought they were gonna be like, his gut ache. They're gonna investigate the fact that like he's into a fried food in his diet. Oh my god.
So Scotland Yard are trying to track down Mr. Enoch Drebber? I wonder if they've had any luck. He's really funny looking. Got two eyes, what don't match. Saw a glimpse of a picture of him earlier. I mean, I didn't actually pinch it or nothing. The old devil's got it. Sorry, who? You know, Skull and Reaper, what's always going down glasses in that blood red block. Oh, Lord Van Zeeks. He's always at it in for me, that cove. Don't know what he's always scowling about, mind. Ollie would have been a pretty good boss as it goes.
Rather be the Reaper's apprentice than the detective's trainee?
I mean, I see it.
The choice between a chip-guzzling detective and a chalice-guggling demon god. You're equally badly off with both.
Suppose you're right. I ain't thought of it like that.
I would put that one to bed.
Anyway, the point is, everyone at the yard's dead set on finding the fishy engineer. But there don't seem to be no clues to go on, so they're stuck.
Nothing that could lead us to Drebear at all? Okay. So I guess that's that. Moving on to the next site, which is the experimental stage. I think we just do it this way. Like so? Yes, like so. Stairs lead to the experimentation stage. Go and see what we can find out. Next time. Well then, thank you all for watching. Sayonara, bye-bye.